concept of space-time, and he wondered what will happen if I put an object in space-time which has, say, mass or energy. As we've seen in the last episode, mass and energy are related by E equals mc square, and they can equivalent. So when I have a massive or an energetic object in space-time, what it does is that it distorts the space-time around it. It changes the way space-time is around it. So what does that mean? That means that not only does your perception of how time and space change depend on how you're moving, but it also depends on the distribution of mass and energy in the entire universe.
So this theory is related to the entire universe.
Yeah, and if you can think about it, this is nothing but gravity. The way massive objects interact with each other, this is gravity. So Einstein realized that gravity is fundamentally nothing but the distortion in space-time that is created by a massive
mass.
So that is what we simply know as gravity today. And this is a very novel and an interesting way of looking at it, which no one had ever thought of before. It took some beautiful mathematics and put in his ideas of what he thought was gravity to come up with the theory of general relativity, which he published in the year 1915.
So can you tell us something about general relativity?
So as I was saying, the very whole mathematical framework that describes the way gravity works, or how accelerated observers interact with space-time, that is the gravity to see what happens. And
so
it is
parameters what?
Yes.
In special.
That is what is known as general.
It is general. So special was only related to some special things, and the general theory of relativity is applicable to more things.
And it is a theory that every other theory in physics has to obey, to be
mother of all theories,
to have a respect as fundamental theory. And that is why it is known as the most beautiful theory that man has ever come up with, because you need a stroke of genius like Einstein. You need that brilliance.
I'll ask you question तुका विचारू सोदता, हे सगळे ते रिलेटिविटीचे थियरीज आसा ते प्रूव्ह करपा शकता आमी? Can we prove them?
Absolutely. That because that they have been proven, that is why we respect Einstein so much. So in the year 1919, there was a British astronomer known as Sir Arthur Eddington. He went on to a voyage down to the Caribbean to observe a solar eclipse. आता ताजो प्लॅन कितें आशिल्लो? As we saw, space-time is distorted by massive objects. So if I have an object in space-time, light, which is nothing but bundles of energy, it can bend around because the space-time is distorted. And light, which could have usually gone in and bumped into it, goes around it. It is lensed by the star, and so this is known as gravitational lensing. So the light is bent around and it comes in front and it goes ahead.
Light sudda bend जाऊ शकता.
Exactly. So an object which is behind you, I can see it if you're massive enough, because the light, you distort space-time so much so that the light goes around you.
Okay, got it.
And so there was a star which was behind the sun. Which is supposed to be behind the sun at that particular time.
सूर्याच्या फाटल्यान दिश्टी पडपाक जायना.
But as it was the eclipse time, the moon covered the sun, the sky was very dark, and miraculously, or say thanks to nature, the way it behaves, the star was seen. And
सूर्याच्या फाटी आशिल्ले स्टार दिश्टी
पडले because of the bending of light.
ताजी लाईट बेंड जाऊन.
Exactly. And this was exactly behaving the way Einstein predicted it to behave in his theory, which he gave 4 years before 1990.
Explained with Einstein, how is that?
So you must have seen movies like Interstellar, which talk about these objects known as black holes, which can suck anything in. They do not even allow light to escape.
Black holes are basically dead stars.
Yes, they're dead stars, and the thing is that they're so massive. What happens is that they're so massive and they're so dense that they almost distort space-time so much so that they cause a tear in it. That they are so powerful at bending the space-time that things around them go into the black hole. They cannot escape.
Black hole and सगळे वता भितर. Matter goes into the black hole.
Light, nothing can escape a black hole. So this is nothing but it was given as a solution in the year 1916 by a man known as Carl Schwarzschild, who was solving solutions, who was giving solutions to Einstein's equations in the middle of World War I, which predicted black holes, which predicted the existence of mathematical existence of such quantities which could swallow in light and leave nothing out. So this is nothing but a solutions of Einstein's equation.
आता राज हे थियरी ऑफ रिलेटिविटी ज्याच्याबद्दल आम्ही हो स्पेशल एपिसोड डेडिकेटेड आसा ताजे प्रॅक्टिकल एप्लिकेशन्स कितें रिलेटिविटी इज रिलेटेड टू एवरीथिंग इट इज अ वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट द युनिवर्स म्हणून सांगलें पण ताजे एक डेफिनेटली आमकां एग्जांपल्स दी प्रॅक्टिकल एप्लिकेशन्स कितें आसा
आता मोस्ट सिंपल थिंग इज दॅट एवरीवन हू हॅज अ smartphone must have used GPS
to smartphone asta GPS
to navigate or to go somewhere or to see what your location is. Now the satellites which are stationed above the Earth, the GPS satellites, unless and until they take into account effects due to special relativity and the mass of the Earth causing a change in the space-time around the satellite and the way it perceives your location, unless and until we take into account general relativity and special relativity, the satellites won't be able to tell you your accurate position. So it all goes, all the theory, it goes into such things that help make our lives better.
Satellites आणि मोबाईल फोनांचे GPS हे करताना we have to consider relativity.
Exactly.
नाजाल्यार सगळ्यांत चुकता.
Even when we launch rockets, when we launch satellites to distant planets and objects, we need to take into account general relativistic effects, because otherwise the trajectories will be wrong and it will all be waste of effort and money. So it does have a lot of practical applications which silently go into making our lives better and better.
Okay, so this is a universal theory where it has universal implications.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. It's a theory which models our entire universe.
Okay. एकदा Einstein made a terrible mistake, or at least he thought that he made a mistake. Einstein's mistake म्हणून जे incident म्हणतात नी, can you tell us something about that incident?
Yeah, so back when Einstein came up with his theory of general relativity, the universe was thought of to be static, infinite and ever unchanging and it was eternal. And what his own theory said was that either the universe has to expand because of the matter and the energy, or the universe has to collapse. But he did not find it comfortable. He found that that it's not the the thing that seems right, because he used to believe in the steady state theory. So what he did was he introduced this term known as the cosmological constant to counteract the effects of this expansion or contraction. If the universe is contracting, he added this term so as to make it expand in such a way that it balanced out and that the universe was always the way it was. So there was a Russian scientist known as Friedman who said that maybe you're not right, maybe your cosmological constant is not the best thing to do. How about we accept the idea that the universe is, say, expanding? And
then
Edwin Hubble, he came about and he
actually
observed पहिले की त्याने
universe is
that
moving.
the universe is moving away, that galaxies which are far away are moving even further from us, expand the universe in other words. And Einstein was not very comfortable with this because this shattered his
cosmological constant.
Cosmological constant. It actually respected Friedman's equations that the universe was actually expanding.
Einstein केन्ना काबार जावपाचो ना. Einstein is eternal science. So Einstein हांगा काबार जावपाचो ना, पूण आमचो टाइम काबार जालो. सो आयचो एपिसोड आमी हांगाच काबार करया. आमच्या दर्शकांक राजा कडेन कितें विचारपाचें आसा, आयन्स्टायना बद्दल कितें समजुपाचें आसा आनी प्रोग्रामा बद्दल फीडबॅक दिवपाचो आसा, सकल ईमेल आयडी आसा, प्लीज मेल करीत रावात. आनी राज वचचे पयलीं तुका हांव थँक्यू म्हणटा. देव बरें करूं. विश यू अ लॉंग and what I can say, a very illustrious career. आणि लेट्स होप की गोंयच्यान आयन्स्टायना भशेन आमचो गोंयचो आयन्स्टायन तूं जावन अशेंच एक दीस तुजोय फोटो हांगा आसतलो अशें हांव होप करतां. ऑल द गूड विशीस तुका दिता. फुडल्या वीक अवश्य मिळूया आणि एक इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक घेऊन. आज निरोप दियात. पळत राहात अंतरिक्ष, अप अप अँड अवे, ओनली ऑन प्रुडंट मीडिया.